Hi, everyone. My name is Pio Chalabois. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Redog. And today I'm super excited to spend some time with Kat Bollier. Kat is our product manager, and she has a wealth of experience doing proposal management in her previous career. And Kat has brought so much to the company that I wanted to spend a bit of time so she could share her story and explain how her proposal management experience has helped, build amazing product for the proposal management industry. So hi, Kat. Really nice to see you today.
PO.
Great. So can you talk a little bit about your background as a proposal manager and your previous role?
Yeah, for sure. So after university, I was looking, for work as one does, and I actually interviewed for a consulting firm to help with their proposals. And it's funny because before the interview, I didn't even know what an RFP was, but I found out, and then I got the job, and I spent nearly 4 years, immersed in the proposal process there. I would find and disperse RFPs, prepare the proposal templates, search for content to include, and work with the consultants and subject matter experts to complete grids and sections, to get the proposal out the door.
And can you share a little bit with us, like what worked really well and what didn't work in your role, like what problems you saw?
Yeah, absolutely. When I got there, they already had a pretty efficient, proposal process in place. So there were good workflows in terms of planning, who would prepare which sections, do the quality assurance, the packaging, and generally move the proposal process along and move the proposal forward. What I found, though, what was the challenging part was always pulling all the content together, to actually write the different sections. So keeping track of where things were stored, in which proposals we have answered a similar question in the past, finding the right CVs or experience to include. So it was time consuming to actually do the research, and it often involved sending lots of emails back and forth, asking others, bothering people ultimately, and then, sometimes just really giving up and having to write things from scratch, which was never fun.
And you were at the middle, right, of all of this proposal management, and you had to manage different people with deadlines and everything, and with content left and right. So what have you tried to fix these problems?
Well, one thing that we did while I was there was we actually upgraded our SharePoint instance. So that helped to store, properly store our past proposals and CVs and, some boilerplate content. So that centralized repository helped, but it still required, quite a bit of existing knowledge about what was available and which proposal contained which answers, so you still had to kind of know what was there in order to really find what you were looking for and really navigate it properly. Like you could search and maybe find something, but it, you still needed to ask around a bit and, hey, do you remember if we ever, wrote this before in a proposal, or do we have a tailored project description about this already? So that was always still kind of challenging. So, after we got the new repository, we ended up looking for other tools and found Smart Proposition. And this product, it helped, to better store the content and actually match it to our proposals. And that was like night and day, in some regards, which was really great.
Yeah, thanks. And for context, this is when I met Catherine, actually. So my team and I developed Smart Proposition back in 2015. And I was very glad to meet Catherine as part of this project and really solving that problem. And, Catherine, with Smart Proposition, with SharePoint, overall with, maybe more tagging and better like processes, like you've really solved, a good part of the problem in that organization. So now that everything worked well, why did you stay there and leverage all of this? And why did you decide to, go and become a product manager instead?
Yeah, it's interesting. So since we were the pilot customer, I was very involved with, the whole process, the implementation of the product, really developing it to suit our needs to a certain extent. And then ultimately I became the power user. So I was the one using it, every day, all the time. And I really, really enjoyed that. But post go live, I was just looking for new challenges. And I realized that since I really liked using the product, that maybe I could become actually involved in a bigger way. I had felt the pain of proposal writing, that stress and the time crunch and the frustration. And I was really drawn to the fact that Redoc was developing software to make this easier for people like me. And I just really wanted to be a part of it. Proposals are an inevitability for many organizations. It's something we have to do, but don't necessarily want to do.
Mm.
So anything I could do to, make creating them even easier for other proposal managers, like I wanted to try that and be a part of it.
Yeah, well, thanks so much. We appreciate. So, as you were an innovator customer, you help us build first product smart proposition. You joined the team, and I would say maybe 6 months to a year in, you sat down with the leadership team and really had a grander vision, and you felt you wanted to do more, and essentially you pitched us a big product overall. Can you talk a little bit about why you felt that you wanted to bring the product into kind of a new direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Smart Proposition was a good tool, but it was pretty narrow in terms of what it could do and for whom. So what it did well. So that was great for the consulting firm I used to work for. But Smart Proposition didn't have a really big reach. Plus, like many proposal systems out there, the implementation process was lengthy. It was difficult to learn and a bit cumbersome to use and maintain. So what I did, I took a step back and thought about the problem, we really wanted to solve and the best way to do that. And ultimately, it came down to finding the right content fast. That's where the biggest source of frustration was for me. So I wanted, to make it super easy for proposal managers or really anyone involved in the proposal process to quickly find what they were looking for. So we launched Redoc, a super simple yet powerful content reuse engine. It connects to existing content sources to help these teams, source their past knowledge for their new proposals.
And so as a product manager, you're really the one like looking at the market, understanding how to solve, people problems. So what are your guiding principles when you either you decide to implement a feature, or you say, no, this one we won't do right away? Like, how do you make these decisions, and what are your guiding principles?
Yeah, I learned a lot, both as a user of Smart Proposition, and then also when I joined the company. So we learned a lot of lessons from that product, and now with Redoc, we're extremely focused on simplicity and ease. So ease of implementation, ease of use, ease of maintenance. Everything we do is driven really by making, finding that content for proposals or, any other documents as easy and as fast as possible. Really, like if I think back, like when I was a proposal manager, what comes to mind is, those long hours, late nights, just trying to pull a proposal together and really dig through content and just getting frustrated and not being able to find something, especially when I know it exists and that either I just can't remember where it is or it's impossible to find it. So now I'm just really trying to make just that whole experience a thing of the past and, make life just better for proposal teams.
Yeah, and I remember we worked, on that first project together for a long while. And from my perspective, you had a big problem. It was, I think we did a really good job at solving it, but really it took a long time, right? And the content onboarding and bring that content in, and then all the curation and the tagging we had to do. So ultimately I felt it was a very useful project, but it took too long.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and to your point, whenever kind of guiding principle, and you really helped bring that. But I believe we can help like organizations be up and running in 15 minutes. Really, that's one of our goal. So
Mm-hmm.
within 15 minutes, you just drop some documents. There's nothing to do on your end, and you start searching. And anyone who can use Google can use Redoc, and that's very powerful. We do see the impact on the market. So thanks for all these decisions.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
now we're here. I think we have we're in I would say 4 or 5 countries now. We have like small customers, really large customers, from the enterprise to the almost one user. So it's pretty broad. What are you excited about for the next 12 months, and where do you see Redoc going?
Oh, lots of things. I mean, coming up, like on the functional side, soon, we'll be able to ingest new file formats like Excel, which will be huge. A lot of organizations, have to respond using Excel templates that they're provided, answer questions that they're being asked. So being able to easily find, past responses will be super, super helpful. So I'm really excited about that. And then, further down the line, I'm super excited about, us applying more learning to the tool. So our existing search capabilities are super powerful, but I'm looking forward to developing more models based on things like user behavior, which content is used most and is most beneficial for organizations, for instance, or, based on the proposal being currently worked on. So learning from, the content that was selected and suggesting and predicting which other sections could be useful, learning from or defining, a win theme that's through it and getting that context from the documents. There's really the possibilities are pretty endless for us. It's such a huge problem, but it's, ultimately it's a simple one, but there's a lot of creative and innovative things we can do to, make this whole process as easy as possible for people. So, and enjoyable, it'd be nice to make it fun. So we're trying to build something that's, that's fun and easy to use and, makes life better for people.
Yeah, and I cheated a little bit. I was answering like some security questions. I do use Redoc, myself, and I did actually use the test environment to benefit from the Excel parsing. So it's really, really nice to go, it look at previous answers in the large Excel file, and it found like the really specific row with the question answer without data prep. It was just ingesting the Excel as is. So that was very useful. It really helped, being effective.
Mm.
So, well, thank you, Catherine. It's really a pleasure. I'm looking forward to other discussions around many topics. But, in the meantime, have a great afternoon and see you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.